Today I will be presenting a poem by Rainer Maria Rilke. We cannot know his legendary head with eyes like ripening fruit, and yet his torso is still suffused with brilliance from inside, like a lamp in which his gaze now turned to low, gleams in all its power. Otherwise the curved breast could not dazzle you so, nor could a smile run through the placid hips and thighs to that dark center where procreation flared. Otherwise this stone would seem defaced beneath the translucent cascade of the shoulders, and would not glisten like a wild beast's fur, would not, from all the borders of itself, burst like a star. For here there is no place that does not see you. You must change your life. That line, it presents me urgency and the need to change my own life. It confronts the way I've been, and the line, you must change your life, is not advice, but it's facts. And what makes me uncomfortable is how it doesn't tell you how. It just tells you that you know, and that the statue is standing there waiting for you to catch up. You may be wondering why I didn't explain the poem before and I didn't introduce it to you and I just went straight into it. Well, that's because the poem sees you as you are. Sometimes I think it's not just the statue that's looking at us, but it serves to me at least, maybe, and to us, as a reminder that we come from people who lived their whole lives before us, and those people, they struggled and they changed. And it's like our ancestors are watching us, and it's a quiet sense that says, you're here now, and it makes me wonder, what will you do with it? Look, we are all just people at the end of the day, and I don't think me or you is perfect. If you are perfect, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear and get some advice from you. However, I think we all can better ourselves and improve. And I notice the way I still struggle, but yet I am continuing to choose myself. Like the poem, I don't want to stay the same. I want to be able to love myself, and I want to be able to be confident in the decisions that I'm making. Whether that is waking up and going for a walk instead of scrolling on my phone, reading a book instead of scrolling, or engaging in negative habits. I am at the state where sometimes at night I can be crying, but in the mornings I lift and try again, and that's life. At the end of the day, I heard a quote that we live every day, but we only die once. And so the quote, we only live once, it's depending how you look at it. Because if you're constantly saying, I'm going to wait for Monday, we only live once, might as well indulge in this negative habit, then you're going to build that. Because what you put in is what you get out. If you're going to constantly engage in negative habits, you're manifesting negativity for yourself, and you're manifesting the negative life. For example, who you hang around is so important. If you're hanging around a bunch of people who party constantly, do drugs and alcohol, naturally you're more exposed to that, so you fall down that rabbit hole. But on the opposite end, if you're hanging out with people who are constantly working out, constantly trying, maybe in religious services or just trying to better themselves, naturally you're going to maybe go to the gym with them, get really good connections, and you are what you consume. So what you put in is what you get out, and that goes past food, but that's for another episode. It's just, I can't express this enough. Turn inward and start reflecting. Acknowledging that imperfections is the first step, literally. 2 years ago, I was 243 pounds. Here's a picture. Anyway, now I am about 190 something. I just made a TikTok page about my weight loss because I'm gonna continue to go and lose weight and work out and just continue to try to build better habits for myself and continue to try. So, and I think you should too. I mean, not to lose weight, but just try to build better habits for yourself and go follow that TikTok. But I'm just going to try to build habits and better myself. And this is what the journey looks like. It never ends. And there's a poem called Ithaca, and it's just talking about like how the journey never ends, and even by the time we're old, it doesn't end. The journey only really ends once we die. So as long as you're getting 1% better every day and continuing to focus on yourself, that's what really matters. And as I said before, reflection is the first step, and some things I reflected on is that I realized the things that I'm avoiding is the things that I need to do most. Like sometimes I'll avoid to clean my room, and I really need to do that because then if I have a clean room, I have a clean mind and I can clearly think. And sometimes like working out and building discipline, that's the thing I need to do the most, but I've been avoiding. And I have a really good example. This podcast, like YouTube video, I've been avoiding for the past 2 months. It's literally a day before it's due, but the time is now. Doing the right thing is not always the easiest, and Mondays they won't always come. Mondays are never guaranteed. Tomorrow isn't guaranteed. If you wait, you may lose your opportunity and you may lose your chance. But even if it's imperfect, you're going to learn along the way. I know I am learning a lot about myself right now that I wouldn't have done if I just didn't start recording this video. And I am perfectly imperfect. I have so much I gotta work on. But I just want to preach that staying the same is not good. You don't want to stay the same. And now I want to reflect more and talk about how the content that I trust is someone who is authentic to themselves and authentic and just shows you that they are not perfect. They make mistakes too. And that's what I'm and that's what I hope to provide to someone, whether it's just one person to get up and do better with their life. And that's, to me, is the most important. And I don't really know who talks about the middle of the journey. Who talks about when it gets so hard that they just want to quit and like not do it. But no, I don't think a lot of people talk about it. But I want to be the space to talk about it, because staying the same, it's your choice. To not choose is actually to choose. You're choosing to stay the same. Comfort can look familiar, but it's not stagnation. It's not going to get you further if you're always comfortable. It's good to be uncomfortable. Familiar is maybe comfortable, of course, but it's not always right, as I said before. And waiting can become avoidance. I know I avoided this podcast, but here I am, and I don't regret that I do, because hopefully it inspires one person. And this channel is meant for you. This channel is meant for And I wanted to do some more reflection because that's what this channel is all about. The kind of content that makes me trust someone is when they're authentic and true to themselves. And they show you that they aren't perfect, that they do make mistakes, but yet they're trying and constantly consuming better things to educate themselves and to provide for you and serve you while being able to maintain for themselves. And I hope to provide a similar page and a similar vibe for that. I have yet to find someone who talks about the middle of the journey and the beginning, and it's just, and it's just something I want to talk about because the middle is hard. Honestly, it might even be harder than the beginning because the beginning is when all the motivation comes in and everyone's so inspired, sorry about that. Everyone's so inspired to do better for themselves, and then they fall into this all or nothing bias, and then once the motivation dies, their discipline dies. But that, of course, as I just said, that's where discipline ties in and motivation is lacking. But I want to have a page where even when it's so hard in the middle and you don't want to do it, you do it anyway. And I want to provide that for you and show you the middle and the ugly and the good, the ugly, the bad, and everything. Look, staying the same, it's your choice. To not choose is to choose, and to choose, you're always choosing. Look, staying the same is your choice. To not choose is to choose. To stay the same is choosing to stay the same. And you won't get better. You may get worse, but you won't get better if you're choosing to stay the same. And don't you want to improve your life? Because while you're staying the same, there are going to be people out there who are going to improve. And now I'm not saying compare yourself to others, but I am saying you will get left behind and you are not going to improve. Look, even if you're going slow, at least 1% better every day is what you should be aiming for. Comfort can look like stagnation. Familiar is not always right. Waiting can become avoidance. And I know I avoided so many things that it overwhelmed me and it made my journey so hard, and I lacked that discipline. But this is why I'm here. This is what I'm trying to tell you. You can change your life, as Maria Rilke said. And this is what I hope this channel will provide, because nothing shifts without intention or attention. You need to put attention on what you want to change, whether that's good or bad. Because look, everything has a choice. If you are going to, let's say for me, a big thing I want to do right now is lose weight. Like if I am going and binging on food all the time and eating unhealthy and eating high calorie, that is a choice. Will I get what I want? No, I will gain weight, but I am making that choice whether I want to stay the same or not. But if I am focusing on balance and more filling meals that are lower in calorie and being in a deficit, yes, I will eventually get what I want because I am working for that and I'm not staying the same. I'm making a change. So the question is not if you'll change, it's are you going to stop looking away, and are you going to look and reflect inward? You are not too late, and the time is always now. Look, the best time to build a tree was 13 years ago, but you know when the second best time is? Right now. So build that tree. Choose you, choose yourself. Now we are getting towards the end of the video, so I wanted to introduce myself. I am Liz, and my thoughts are spoken out loud, and they will become life. And this page is about becoming and just becoming a better person for yourself. This is just the beginning of our journey, so you are welcome to stay, and I'll keep talking and creating from here. Thank you. Have a good night.